Welcome to the Shalisa Experience. Thank you guys for joining me. I have a good one for you today. I got Miss Akeia Keith here today from Girlfluence, and we're going to talk about firearm safety, women carrying firearms, and the importance of having firearms, and also educating children with firearms. So I'm going to start with just tell me a little bit about yourself first.
Okay. I have a long history, but in reference to firearms, I started out, well, in college, I chose to do criminal justice. So as far as law enforcement goes, as far as like just being educated about different laws and things of that nature, it started out in college. I didn't foresee me going as far as I've gone in the industry, but I've been like a juvenile probation officer, juvenile correctional officer. I've been, you name it, I've done it. I've been an investigator. And my last bit of, I guess, experience in the law enforcement field was I was a parole officer. And I absolutely loved that job. It was absolutely amazing as far as all the dynamics of it. As far as the uniform, I enjoyed looking like RoboCop every day. I enjoyed wearing my bulletproof vest, my gun, like all of that. I just loved it. But outside of that, it gave me a great opportunity to help people. And so after resigning from that position, I'm now here as a firearms instructor. And so it's with great pleasure that I can bring like all of my skills that I've had from different positions here in my own business as a firearms instructor. And so it's like I get so excited just to have that moment to teach, to train. And not only am I doing it for my students, but I'm always training myself as well, so that I can be the best for my students. And so I'm always, even though I'm the instructor, I'm also learning as well, different tactics and things of that nature so that I can teach my students as well.
Now, then it's just having a criminal justice background. I always wonder like who should be carrying firearms, because I always tell people like if you have a short temper, you don't know how to control your temper, you shouldn't be carrying firearms. But I do know, especially in, I think this is pretty much national, anyone with mental health issues should not be carrying firearms. So where pretty much would you tell somebody as far as like their mental state, like as far as carrying or not carrying?
Yes, that's very important, because my thing is having a firearm in your possession is it's a safety measure that you have to take. And so you have to, as an individual, especially as a woman, you have to consider if you are in a situation where it requires you to protect yourself. For one, are you going to be willing to use that firearm? And for two, even before you go and purchase a firearm, are you mentally able to be able to function? But like you said, if you are diagnosed with anything, and I actually posted it on my page, I know for Georgia, there is an actual law that identifies what they will and will not do as far as giving you permission to carry. And so it will be like if you've ever been in an actual mental institute, they won't allow you to carry a firearm. So you have to take into those measures that if that is your condition, then you may have to consider another measure for safety outside of carrying a firearm. But every law is different. I mean, every state is different in regards to the law. So you just have to be aware of what your state says concerning you carrying a firearm.
Now in Georgia, do you have to be forthcoming with that, or is that something that they would find like doing a background check? Or
yes, it's included in your background check.
Okay.
So yeah, some of those questions are the questions that they ask. Like they even ask if you've ever, if you have any pending charges. Have you ever been incarcerated? Like they ask all of those questions on the application.
Okay, that's very good to know. Now, just like you said, as far as women carrying firearms, and I've asked all law enforcement, because sometimes you guys have to come and respond after something has happened. How important, honestly, do you think it is for women, you know, whether they live by themselves or not, to have firearms? Because they could just be going out, you know, to the grocery store, and like people are acting crazy even in broad daylight.
Facts. Well, I mean, I guess it's I'm a little, I don't know, being that I have a history of firearms and I have a history of criminal justice, I would definitely be like, yes, have a firearm.
Yeah.
But even taking that stance, I would recommend that you get educated as a firearms owner, so you won't just be a person that has a gun, but you will be an educated, responsible firearms owner.
I kind of
So,
take that like, you know, riding a motorcycle. Like you have to get practice. You have to target practice is everything. Target practice is everything.
Everything.
Unless you're
Like,
gonna have a shotgun in the house, target practice is everything. Like I'm still
exactly.
trying to manage, you know, firing a shotgun.
Yes.
Like I think I did it like the first time. I probably was like, I don't know. I think I did once when I was a teenager, and then one again in my like early 20s. Like the first time I did it when I was a teenager, I almost dislocated my shoulder because I was
Oh
like,
gosh.
nah, I ain't doing this one again. Just giving it a 9 or something. I can't do this. That's the biggest one I can handle. I'm like,
And see, that's another thing. That's good that you said that, because when you consider becoming a firearms owner, a lot of people, they just say, well, I want to get that gun, and they go and get it and don't even try it out. So as an educator, as an instructor, I always educate my students to say, hey, we need to go to the range so you can shoot various types of weapons and you can decide which one is best for you. It's almost like selecting a car. You have to go test drive it. And so, you know, I take my students to the range so that they can explore which one is best for them, and then they make their selection, and then I train them on what they've selected. So that's like the best way to go versus just, you know, just willy-nilly purchasing something because it's cool, but it may not be a good fit for you. So, you know, I've had to do the same thing. That's how I know, okay, I like this gun, I don't like this gun. I love this firearm, but I don't like this firearm. I literally stood there and did my research on each one so that I would know what's good for me, and then I could, you know, tell my students the same thing.
Yeah, because I see some people with like the little cute guns or whatever. I'm like, so it holds what, 5 bullets? Like, come on now.
Right.
Like, because if you're in a bad situation, like 5 bullets ain't gonna, you know, help you. Like, because and sadly to say, you know, I hate to say it, but sometimes you may have to empty a whole clip, you know, and that little cute little petite gun is not gonna work on some people. So.
And see, my thing is also, that's why it's important to practice. So if I'm in a situation where I have to use my firearm, hopefully my practice will step in and allow me to have that precision shot where I can stop that threat. You know, it's not my intention to have to kill someone, but if I'm in that situation where I have to deploy or use my firearm, I'm trained to make sure I stop that threat. So whatever that looks like, whether one bullet or 2, I'm trained to stop that threat.
There ain't no warning shots gonna be fired.
No. That's actually against the law. Like a warning shot could get you put in jail. So, you know, we can't be like, no, we can't do warning shot. That could possibly get you locked up.
Yeah, because if you give a warning shot, you ain't no telling who that's gonna hit. So.
Exactly. And one thing that I tell my students is that every bullet has an attorney attached to it. So if whether it's a warning shot, whether you're trying to, you know, stop your threat or whatever, every bullet that comes out of that chamber is there's an attorney attached to it. So you're going to have to answer whether, you know, you're on the good side or the bad side. You're going to have to answer in regards to why did you deploy your weapon?
Because I've had to use mine before, and somebody broke in my house, and I felt like the criminal because I'm just like, okay, well, did you know him? Are you sure you didn't know him? Like, I know who I know.
Right.
Like, this ain't no domestic. He don't live here, sir. I look at him and look at me. Do we look like we go together? No. So, I mean, but they have to do their job because sometimes, you know, things happen and people set people up, and you know, it makes it. Some people try to make it look like somebody threatened them. You know, it's so many things that go
Yes.
into it. So I mean, even if you are on the good side, please don't be offended, because there's
Yes.
some really outlandish stories that
Yes.
that people stuff that people do. So
Yes.
now, as far as educating children,
Mm-hmm.
I always ask, what do you think is like the best age? Because I've seen some say as small as 7, 6, or just basically, do you think it's when they're comfortable using one?
I would say when the parent feels like their child is, I don't want to say educationally, but when they can comprehend. And if you think about it, as a parent, we are our children's first teacher anyway.
Yeah.
And so, at a very young age, they children start learning like what's good, what's bad, what's hot, what's cold. Like those are the times that you're even teaching, whether you show them a picture or an actual firearm, you can start that education. My thing is find videos or books out there to start having that conversation so that they will know, okay, this is something that I can't play with. This is something that is a protective tool that, my parents have, and they will, use it if need be, but it's not a toy. But once again, that education comes through the parent in regards to how you teach your child about that firearm. And there's so many different resources out there to do that, but the conversation starts in the home. And like I said, either they even have toy weapons out there or firearms where, once again, when you're having a conversation, you can create that safe environment where you can say, hey, this is a firearm. This is what it does. These are the parts of a firearm, just so they can be educated. Because if the education doesn't take place in the home, more than likely it will. With this day and time, it'll take place on the outside.
Yeah, and you rather, it's same as the sex talk. You want them to learn from you better than anybody else, because
Exactly.
glorify the wrong things, too much.
Exactly.
I need you to know that this is only to be used for defensive purposes, and that's it. Not if you get upset or get mad, you don't go grab this gun, because
Exactly.
just you having the weapon out, or you call yourself trying to scare somebody, that's, I mean, they could get you put in jail. They could get you put in a, a mental facility or something like that. So, and that's everything we trying to avoid, because as parents, it's our responsibility to guide them and not let them, go astray in any way.
Right.
Now,
So I would say at any age, whenever you feel like your child can comprehend whatever you're saying, and that could be in reference to anything, include that part as your education.
Yeah. But the main thing is, it's not a toy. This is not a toy. It is not a toy.
No,
I'm looking at some of the toy guns, and they're trying to make them look so realistic. I'm like, why? Like, get a little green water squirt gun. It don't need to look like,
right.
Rambo. We don't know. I don't need to do that.
Yep.
Now, as far as types of guns, and this is not a multiple choice, but I ask people this all the time: gun owners, police officers, for the home, handgun or shotgun.
Now, I would say it depends on the person. For me, I have different kinds because I did that research and I found like what I was comfortable with. But when it comes to home defense, you have to ask yourself, like, what would be your intentions to protect your home? My thing is, in my home, I have, especially like if I have friends over and it's not just me, like everyone that comes into my home, they know I am a firearms owner, but they also know what I've started practicing is that if you are a firearms owner, you have to make sure you have that conversation with those that are inside your home, that you all identify what would be that code word, that if someone were to break into our home, where is our safe room? Especially those with children, like where is our safe room? Where should we retreat to so that mom and dad can protect us? And so my thing is, when it comes to, okay, is it a shotgun or a handgun? Once again, we're responsible for any bullet that comes out of that gun. So you have to determine, if I have an AR-15, if I deploy that weapon and I shoot, am I going to be responsible for 10 to 15 bullets that come out of there?
Exactly.
Or with a firearm, you know, your magazine may hold about 15 bullets. Are you going to be okay with those 15 bullets that you may shoot? So you have to
take into consideration the person that's coming into your house might also have a handgun.
exactly.
So I'm not
So
trying
you
to
have
turn my thing is like I'm not trying to turn my house into OK Corral. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not going to be firing back and forth because yes, it's kids in here. She might
Exactly.
be somewhere in the closet and the stray bullet could hit through the closet. So
Exactly.
that's why I keep practicing with this shotgun being one and done.
So,
That's it.
so my thing is, whether you choose a shotgun or a handgun, as a mother, identify where's the safe room going to be. If we're downstairs, somebody comes in downstairs, where's the safe room going to be?
Yeah.
And my thing is, if that intruder comes into that safe room, then you have to defend yourself.
Sure.
But if not, then okay, cool. They're in here. We know we're calling the police. We're making contact so that we can get help here. But my thing is, you don't want to put yourself in a predicament where you are trying to defend yourself, and then all of a sudden you end up being the perp and not the victim. Because there are circumstances where a homeowner has tried to defend themselves and they end up in jail. They end up with a lawsuit because they killed the intruder. So it's different dynamics. But I also would recommend that even as a firearms owner, us protecting our home, our loved ones, it's very, very important. And I'll make sure I post this on my page, that we have our insurance.
Yeah.
There is, I am certified with the USCCA, so that's United States Concealed Carry Association. And so they have plans that pretty much covers us as firearms owners. And so it's very important. It's almost like having car insurance or health insurance. You want to have it and not need it, then not have it and really need it. So once again, that's a insurance that you want to have as a firearms owner. You want to make sure that you're covered if you are ever needed to use your firearm, that you have an attorney on deck that you can just call and they support you along this process. And so handgun, shotgun, it depends on what it depends on the person. But whichever one you choose, make sure you train with it.
But there's an app that I've been I trained her on too. It's the because sometimes when somebody comes in the house and I might be asleep or something, you get caught off guard or whatever, and I don't, you don't want them to hear you. One of my police officer friends was telling me about this app called Noonlight.
Okay.
Basically, and you have to have your location on, and so basically you put your hand on the Noonlight. Once you let it go and you don't put your 4-digit password in, it gives you about probably 10 seconds, and then it notifies the police in the area. So
that's good. That's good. Now with my Damsel in Defense products, there is, and now I'll have to identify which one it is, but I remember on one of the calls they were saying that there is one of our tools that if it is deployed, like there's a button that you push, it will automatically contact the 5 people that you have programmed. So it'll be contacting your husband, grandma, the police, like all of those people that you program, so that they'll know, okay, this person is in trouble and they need us to.
I think, doesn't it is it one of those that gives the location too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, once I open that box, I'll definitely post everything so people can see it.
Okay. Good.
But a firearm, shotgun, it depends. It depends on the person.
What you trying to do?
Whatever you choose to use.
Maybe wake me up out my sleep. It's like, what? Hold on, I got to figure out what's going on.
Make sure you make the shot. That's all I'm saying.
Somebody bring it in. Let's get it.
But see, I think that's the era of a lot of firearms owners, is that we don't go to the range and shoot. It's like, it's not a pretty piece of metal or plastic. Like, you have to train.
It's not like riding a bike.
No, you have to build a habit. So my thing is, I teach my students is that you fight the way you train. So a lot of students, they may say, oh, can I wear a glove? Or, oh, can I use the speed loader? I'm like, honey, if somebody is after you, or if you are having to defend yourself, you're not going to think about putting on your glove. You're not going to think about, oh, I need my speed loader to put my bullets in my magazine. Like, that's not going to be
I'm not trying to get cute.
It's not going to be a part of
To get
it.
kids, what you trying to do?
So I teach them, you fight the way you train. So however you train with that weapon, when something goes, I mean, everything is, your adrenaline is already going to be pumping. So
Yeah.
you have to train. It's so important to train at least once a month. That's a minimum. But you have to train with whatever firearm you choose to have in your possession.
I'm sorry, I'm getting older. I might not have my glasses on, and I need contacts. Ain't they ain't 100%, so I need to practice.
Exactly. Practice.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to do.
Yeah, because I just don't get the concept, in some people's head, like, oh yeah, I can shoot and blah blah blah, and I'm like, and then they holding the gun sideways.
No.
Never mind. But this ain't gonna work. Check. No.
And that's why, like, as a firearms instructor, when we're in like the physical class, in-person class, we use the plastic gun so that they can work on their grip, and I teach them the different parts of the firearm, all of that, because a lot of people, they own the firearms, but they're not educated.
That's another thing too, the long nails, like, because I used to wear the long nails and stuff like that, and when I went to the range, I had to stop. I had to cut them.
Yeah.
I can't understand like the long. I was like,
so, like I've had some students with the long nails, and they can operate with it because they're just used to it.
Yeah.
So once again, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But once again, you have to practice with however you operate. You got to practice.
I was a lot quicker with them sports size nails. So
yeah. Because I noticed with me, even with like the gel nails or whatever, my nails are like completely chipped from putting billets in magazines and stuff. I said, you know what? I just paid all this money for nothing. I may just start painting my own nails because I'm playing with guns all week, So, but it depends on the individual. But however you are, long nails, short nails, make sure you train the way you think you're going to have to fight.
Oh, number one rule that I tell people all the time, especially if you're teaching kids, teach them how to empty the clip and teach them how to empty the chamber.
Yes.
Everybody always, like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first started carrying a gun, I literally always forgot about the one in the chamber. Like,
wow.
I could have shot myself plenty of times.
Oh wow. Wow.
And see, oh shoot.
See, once again, and that's the thing. When I wish I would have brought one of my, I don't think I have it there. I would have to like literally run up there and hit it. But when I'm teaching my fundamentals class, that's one of the universal firearm safety rules, is that you treat all guns as if they're loaded. So whether you think it's clear or not clear, you always use it or handle it as if it's fully loaded, because at any moment you never want to have a negligent discharge. And most people say, oh, guns shoot a gun could deploy itself. No, it had, like, you literally have to pull the trigger. No, there's only one gun that possibly would shoot like by accident, and that's a revolver. But the hammer would have to be all the way back, and it would have to fall a certain way in order for it to shoot by itself. But as far as a semi-automatic, you would literally have to pull the trigger yourself. So with that being said, in using the universal firearm safety rules, it's very important. You treat every gun as if it's loaded. Even when I'm teaching my students with the plastic weapons, I treat it just like it's a regular firearm, because I'm building that habit that I won't use my firearm in a negligent way.
Okay. Now, as far as your business, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Now, how long have you been in business with Girlfluence?
Well, honestly, I just started it, but I haven't just started firearms, though. It was just that I was like, okay, let me make this journey public for other people, because I realized how important it was. When I was an officer, a lot of times women, we struggled a lot when it came to learning how to use the weapon on qualification day. Qualification day was a major day for us, and a lot of us was nervous. We were scared. We couldn't get the whole concept down. And so all of that passion that I learned as an officer, I brought it over into Girlfluence. And so Girlfluence is now public, but I've been doing Girlfluence years prior. It's just that I had to give my passion a name, and so Girlfluence came to part. But so I've been, as far as, I don't even know, I guess a few months as being known as Girlfluence, but as far as like being involved in firearms and teaching and all of that, it's been almost about 10 years.
Yeah, because when I started, I was like, oh, she has a mentorship group. That's nice. And then I looked, I was like, oh, no, far from that.
Yeah, so I've been doing it for a while. It's just that for public, I had to give it a name and, make it actually a legit business. Yeah. So Girlfluence. But as far as me being involved in the firearm industry, it's been about 10 years.
Now, is it firearms or firearm accessories or both?
Oh, no, I don't sell the accessories, or I don't even sell the firearms. I just teach you how to use them. Okay. I teach you to be comfortable with them, and I make sure that you're a good shot at the range. So, if it's time for you to shoot in real life, if you
now, this only in Georgia, or will you travel in the future?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay. I've already, somebody want me to come to actually Texas. So that's the thing. Like, if people want me to come, as I encourage them to get their girlfriends together. Like, let's make it a big group. So I normally teach anywhere from 10 to 20 people at one time, because I have just different ways to teach it. And so if they have a place, I literally would definitely travel.
Yeah, because you doing these group birthday parties, these group, classes, little dance classes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The next family outing is going to be it's gun range.
Yes. I have had, even some of I have online students that are out of state. But once again, even with those that live outside of Georgia, I just educate myself on their law so that I can, educate the students about that. But as far as in-person teaching, all of that is pretty much going to be the same. It's just that when the law part comes in, I just educate myself on what that law is to make sure that the students are aware.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the online classes, is that a one-on-one instruction, or is it just a set,
Well, once again, so far I've had both. I've had groups and I've had individuals. So it depends. It can be a group of girlfriends to be like, hey, let's sign up for this class, and we'll all be on Zoom learning. But I've also had individuals. But next month, I've already started, students have already started signing up for October. And I have this family that I have to teach. It's about to be, I think it's going to be a family of 10 that I'm going to teach. So once again, people they sign up for the classes, and either it's in person or online, whichever one I can do. But I do encourage that they do the educational part as well as go to the range and figure out whether they have their firearm or they don't, do that whole process, do the educational part, and then go to the range and train to actually use the weapon.
Yeah, because we ain't got no choice in Texas. Gun range, gun store, gun range, gun store.
Exactly.
You can't say you can't find one. It's literally one up the street from me, a walking distance. So yeah, I ain't got no choice but not to know.
Right.
Now, what are some of the newer products that you have right now?
Right now, I have, like I said, I have incorporated this damsel in defense products, and I'm actually, where's this? I'll actually open it and see what we have in here, and then I'll just do it again when we go live.
It's really sad. I get excited about shoes and guns. It's really.
So what happened?
You're oh, this new purse out. Okay, these new shoes.
I understand. Now I'm thinking, for Christmas, when people start asking what do you want? I'm just give me some ammo, or just give me some Visa cards so I can go get some more accessories or whatever.
Yeah, if I say that, I always get a gift card. I want to get you the wrong one, and I don't want to be up there trying to pick the. Come on.
Hey, I'm fine with a gift card because that way I can go spend it on something related to firearms. Like, I'm all for that. But what I've noticed is with some of my students, being that majority of my students are female, I have ran across some females that are afraid to carry a firearm, which is definitely understandable. I clearly understand why.
Okay, but what are some of those reasons that they're afraid to carry one?
Either they were like a victim of domestic violence where they were actually held at gunpoint. They may have like grew up in a hood where firearms were always around them and they were always like traumatized by that whole experience. Or they could have just seen somebody die, you know. Sometimes it could be a whole like there could be just like general anxiety that it's the sound of the weapon, the feel of the firearm that just, you know, just makes them just not want to be involved at all. I've had some students where they sign up for the class as far as us going into like the actual range, and in class they were fine, like they were able to handle the plastic weapons and everything, but then when it came time to actually deploy it or actually use the firearm, they totally freaked out. And it was the sound, it was the feel, it was, you know, so you never know. But that student will have to be okay with understanding, okay, why am I feeling that way? What could I do to accommodate that? But if there cannot be a resolve with that person feeling comfortable with using it, then you have to find an alternative method. And so that's why I incorporated the damsel in defense products, because it gives women another option outside firearms. So we can utilize stun guns or pepper spray or tactical pins, things of that nature that won't be so practical as a firearm. Because I know,
it's like it's Christmas. I'm over here looking behind, like I can see.
What's in it? And I'm gonna do it again later as if I never opened it. But this is literally my first time opening it. So we are, oh cool. Okay, so we have, it says pouch of pepper. So this is pepper spray. This comes in a little cute little what is this? Like a little keychain.
Yeah, so but I've always cared like, well, I like for it to be closed.
You can actually put it on your keys and have it. And the good thing about like the pepper spray, there's even a method for you to use it. Like you got to make sure it's almost like you spray it in a Z. So you spray the eyes, the nose, and then the shirt. And you choose the shirt because the first thing that somebody does, if they're sprayed in their eyes, they're going to use their shirt. You know what I'm saying? So boom, they're adding more pepper to their eyes. But this is a tool for, you know, let's just say you're out running, walking, or whatever, and someone tries to attack you. This is a moment for you to use, and you can get away. So, I mean, it's not going to totally incapacitate them, but it will mess up their little lives.
It's hard to be trying to carry a firearm when you run.
Exactly. So what is this? This is more, this is more pepper spray. So pretty much you just put it inside there. So that's more stuff.
Refills.
What else? And they have different colors too. So on my website, you can like explore the different colors. Like this one is a little design. So they let us be a little jazzy. Okay. Now this right here, you would literally have to decide what you want to do for this one. This is a concealed carry purse. Now, as an officer, I need my weapon on me. Like I don't want to have to reach for it or anything like that. So for me, I'm always going to use concealed carry. And that means no one knows that you carry. They don't see it on your person, but I always have it concealed carry because I feel like it's an immediate access. So right now, I recently, probably about a month ago, I bought a corset. So it goes around my stomach, and you know, it has the button clips or whatever, and my gun fits on the side. So it's
Okay.
absolutely amazing. Like most of the time, I forget that I have it on. That's how comfortable it is.
Okay.
And so yeah, so I wear it under my shirt. So you don't know. I have my magazine on one side, my weapon on the other side, and I literally just walk around like that. Or I have my other option is I wear it on my hip. Once again, it's a IWB, so it's in the waistband. And so I put it inside my pants. And once again, you can't see it, but it's easily accessible for me.
Yeah.
But you know, people have different ways. But once again, however you choose to carry, whether it's in your purse, in a bag, whatever, you have to train, like, and they call it dry firing. So if you're at home with an empty weapon, however you plan to use your weapon or to carry your weapon, practice drawing from that particular place. Because once again, we fight the way we train. So if you're walking around with a ankle holster, I need you practicing with drawing from that ankle. I don't recommend an ankle holster. Let's put that out there, but I'm just saying.
Okay. I can't bend down like I used to. I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Sometimes officers use that as their backup weapon, so that's totally understandable.
But that's what I thought an ankle holster was for, like a backup, not for like the main weapon.
Yeah, I just have to put that disclaimer out there. Like, I don't know how quick you're gonna get down to that ankle.
I remember the old sugar daddies used to have one in the ankle. That was it.
Like my partner in law enforcement, he used to his backup weapon was on his ankle, but we both trained with it. So if something were to happen to him, I knew what his secondary weapon was. Yeah. So I would literally just get it and shoot it. So, but once again, I wouldn't recommend your ankle holster be your main weapon, because I don't know how quick you're gonna be able to get to that.
Okay, you know, stay right there. Let me tell you something. No.
You walking around with lead.
You're gonna get shot about 8 times before you get to your ankle.
I would not recommend that. Now this is another one. Now I think I'm going to definitely put this one in my car. It's called Road Trip.
It's like a flashlight.
So this one is an emergency auto tool. So it's a glass breaker. It is a car seat. It's a sharp blade to cut car seat, and it's a 3-function LED flashlight.
Oh my God! All that is in there, but it legit looks. Hold it up again, because it legit looks like a flashlight.
Yeah, it looks like a flashlight. Okay. And so, and the last thing that it has on there is an LED emergency beacon, so it makes a sound as well. So I'm thinking, you know, as women, as female, this would be perfect to have in our vehicle, because, you know, if our car breaks down, or even if somebody's following you, like, this is a weapon that you wouldn't even think that, you know, it's a weapon. It looks like a flashlight. So that I know for sure I'm putting this in my vehicles for sure. And what is this? So this is Sassy Spray Keep Safe. Oh, this is awesome. I like it. All right, so this is a concealed type of situation. So it says disguise diversion, safe to keep your secure valuables in here. So you could keep your pepper spray in here. The bottom comes out. And the picture shows how they have
and it looks like air freshener
and stuff like that. You could put your house key in there, like just different stuff. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. So it says on here, bottle design provides camouflage to prevent wood.
How big is the bottom? Because I'm thinking maybe like a little phone or something in there too, like a small.
Yeah, you could put a phone in here too. It's literally like a hairspray can.
Yeah, because I think I remember officer telling me to put like a old cell phone, keep it in your trunk. In case of emergencies or something like that. It'll still dial 911, so make sure it's always charged, but you can keep it in there. Whatever.
And it says perfect for gym, office, or traveling. Foam cushions to muffle interior sound. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So when you take the bottom off, you can put whatever you want in here and then put the bottom back on. And the bottom is a little heavy, so it feels like the can is full. So it's a perfect disguise thing. But once again, it's definitely on my website. What else we got? Oh, what is this? Oh, I have one of these. So this is a socket slim. And it's pretty much something like a striking tool.
Oh, okay.
So you can put it
So
on
I got to use my
your-
keys.
Yeah, you can put this on your key ring. I actually have one. Mine is a little bit bigger than this, but it's a striking tool. So once again, if you're walking, someone tries to attack you or whatever, you can use it as a striking tool.
Okay.
And like I said, it's at least it'll give you time to get away.
Exactly.
Get away, get away. Now, what is this? To whom it may, oh, this is the tactical pen. Oh, I wanted to see this. So the good thing about the tactical pen is that you can write with it. It is refillable, but it's a defense tool. So this part right here, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little, yeah, some indention. So once again, it's a striking tool.
Oh.
But you can also write with it. So it has.
Yeah, I can't take that to work.
Huh?
Yeah, I can't take that to work because I'm like, I look, who got my pen? Like, seriously. They're like, you ain't acting like that on my pen. No, it was a special pen.
Now, see, I may have to get one of those for real. So let's see.
That one in my purse, though.
Remove paper, screw cap on, your pen is ready now to use. So it does come with refillable ink. It's battery operated. Oh, so that means it has a light on it. Oh yeah, it has a light on it. So you can try to, of course the battery's not in here yet, but it has a light at the tip. So you can literally shine it in someone's face and then, you know, get away like that. So that's pretty cool. I like it. And what I like about this line is that it's very like they thought about the females. Like it's all cute stuff. But you can literally
those people that want to be cute.
Exactly.
I
love it. Okay, so that's a face mask. What else we got up here? What else we got up in here? Breakaway braid. Oh, this is the uh-oh, I messed that up. Uh-oh. Oh well, okay. Y'all gonna have to see that one.
Put it back together.
I messed that one up. Okay, so this is the concealed. Oh, okay. So this is just for you to like put your little stuff in, like your license or something like that, and then you can put it on your key ring. Just something. So we, you know, a lot of times we have those big old purses that we carry around. Well,
that's why they concealed purse wouldn't be good for me because I got it bad putting everything in the purse.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So this is one of the books that I was telling you that we sell.
Oh, okay.
And so this is Protective Parent Guide, 12 Essential Family Safety Conversations. And so this is really good, like to start the conversation.
I definitely got to go for that one.
Yeah, so it talks about different things of, let me see if it says it on the back. 12 ways, so it's talking about safety in the home and just all that stuff, but it's a conversation starter. So I love working with kids, and I mean, the truth of the matter is kids love to be engaged. So this could turn into a family night. You know, we can pick some popcorn, sit around the table. If the kid can read, you could pass it around and let each child read a page or something, and then, you know, strike up a conversation about it so that they are aware of just how to be safe. Like,
don't read me a story. Come on, baby. I got a good one for you.
Exactly. Okay, so this last thing is get a grip, and it is the stun gun. So let's see what it looks like. So you have.
I got a quick question because I've carried stun guns before, and I know when I go into a store, the things go off when I have the stun gun. So are they making them better to where they're not going off? You know.
You know what? I don't know because the ones that I have now, I normally carry them in my purse, and I haven't had mine to go off before.
I said, because the lady was saying, she said maybe they have the things up to where they're sensitive or whatever. Because I said maybe it's the kind that I'm carrying. And I had another one walking the Sears. I'm like, maybe I would have been okay if they caught me walking out, because I was like, maybe, you know, they left one of the tags on the back, but I'm walking in. The police officer looking at me, and I'm just looking, and I ain't even look at him. I just kept on straight.
Wow, yeah, that would be interesting. So I can't wait to carry this one and just see. So this one has like an actual light on it. And then I thought it was complete. So yeah, it has the, you know, and it's all cute little diamond looking.
See, this is the thing. If I'm walking out from work and I'm going in the parking lot, you know, just say I park, because there's like different corners of the garage that were dark. I would probably carry that in my hand and have that light or whatever, and then something happens.
Yeah. And so I like that idea that a lot of the tools that they have are multifunctional. So that's really cool. That's really cool. But if you keep in concept, so, and I teach this to my students too, if we have a firearm, and let's just say something goes down, your firearm, depending on the situation now, I encourage you not to allow your firearm to be the first thing that you use. Your firearm should actually be the last source of your defense, if possible. Now, it really depends on the situation, but
I mean, I just feel like if you don't really know what's going on in the situation or whatever, and you honestly don't know, because there's been so many times, especially, you know, working at like different hospital facilities and all that stuff, like we deal with mental health patients. Even if you're just at a regular hospital, it doesn't have to be a mental health facility. Sometimes you're dealing with people with mental health issues. So my first thing is not going to be to pull out a weapon or anything like that. But if they got something in their hand, I got something in my hand, but I'm not, my whole, like I would, you got to think about how you would feel in that, you know, after this happens.
Right.
You know, like, cause I'm like one of the people, like, even if you was coming at me and I had to, I'm still going to feel bad. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to get over it and understand, you know, like this is not my fault. But if I know you have a mental health, truly have a mental health issue, like I would be sitting up here like, what could I have done better? You know what I'm saying? I could have, you know, tried to get that away from, I could have tried to, you know, hit them with something else or injure them, you know, like, so yeah, you have to comprehend like how you would feel afterwards.
Right. And my thing is, that's where like situational awareness comes in. Yes, we are firearms carrier, but you have to decide whether or not that situation deems you to use a firearm. And that's why I think as women, we have to be like equipped outside of the firearm, like learn defensive tactics, you know, use these tools, these other options that we have where your response won't be deadly per se. But once again, if I'm in a predicament where it declares for me to use my firearm, I'm definitely going to use it. But at the same time, if I have other options where I could still get away or I can avoid the situation, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm still trained to use that firearm if I need it.
So I recommend self-defense classes, but I recommend realistic self-defense classes.
Yes.
You might have to get hit. You won't, you know, exactly because ain't nobody playing with you in real life.
Exactly.
You know I don't feel like if I grab his nose like that, like I'm really gonna get him down. If this dude's 6'2" and like 230, like I'm not gonna be able to hit him. You know, like I mean, I'm not gonna be able to do, you know, too much damage.
Exactly. And see, that's why I think as females, we definitely have to stay active some kind of way. Like we got to go take a walk or something. Like if I'm in a situation where I can't use my firearm and I literally have to fight to live, like I need to be able to do a little bit of something, you know?
Yeah, I can't be, hold on, wait a minute, I'm tired. No, it don't work like that.
Exactly. So I'm like, hey, ladies, we got to drink our water. We got to go for a little walk around the park or something. We can't just be chilling at home, because when it comes time to us defending ourselves, we literally need to be able to do something. Like you said, they may be bigger than us, but they going to know they in a fight. I'm going to put myself in a situation to at least try to get away. At least
I might not beat you up, but I'm going to get away or something. Exactly. My whole thing is, when somebody's coming at you like that to do something to you, whether it be rape you, rob you, or whatever, if they try to physically attack you or something like that, if they trying to rob you, give them what they want.
Exactly.
Whatever I got on me, I promise you I can replace it 10 times. God is going to give it back to me. I promise you.
Yeah, I'm not going to defend property. Yeah. Like, you can have it. You can have it. Yeah, you can have it. I can get that back.
You can cancel cards. You can, get cash back. That'll be given back to you. But if they're trying to assault you sexually or physically or something like that, yes, you have to be. I don't even let my brain go to like, yeah, we're gonna fight. I'm gonna take this dude out. No. Yeah. I'm not trying to do the impossible, but I'm trying to get away. You need to fight with the intention of getting away with your life, period.
Exactly. And that is so true. And once again, that's why I say it's very important for us to train the way we want to fight. So like you said, go to realistic classes where we can like learn how to defend ourselves. That's one thing that I did with my girls mentorship last year. I had a few mentees that were literally getting assaulted by male peers at school. And so that initiated me to say, okay, I need to find someone that can train us to defend ourselves. And we literally rented a hotel room, and I got a self-defense instructor to come out, and she taught them different tactics on how to get away, how to, you know, defend yourself if someone tries to pin you down. Like we trained for a good 3.5 hours. And so I'm so happy that I was able to find someone in Georgia, for one, but someone that was relatable to the females that, you know, I was mentoring. And so till this day, they are still aware of how to defend themselves. And my girls, they were like anywhere from, I think in that particular group, I had girls that were like 7 all the way up to 18. And so we trained for 3.5 hours because I was so tired of hearing, you know, of these different assaults on the girls that I was mentoring, and the parents in the schools weren't even like responding or trying to help out the situation. Last year, I think I was at the police station at least 4 times for different mentees that I was working with.
It's bad because it's, especially when you're dealing with the school system that's kind of, and when they get to the point where they're non-responsive, they've pretty much just given up. And there's no way, if you're in a school system or educational system, you can't give up on the child. That's what you signed up for, period.
Exactly, exactly. So I got absolutely like so tired of that. And I was like, you know what, let me find a resource that will equip the girls that I mentor to just help them be, you know, a little more aware of how to defend themselves. So.
And that was another thing too, especially when the self-defense class that I went to, a lot of people were asking, like, when we would learn certain moves, like, okay, what are you supposed to do after this? Run.
Right.
Get away. That's what you're supposed to do after that. Yeah.
Exactly. But and that's why I said, like, with the damsel in defense tactical tools, these are just moments where we can literally get away. But once again, we have to train with them. We have to be aware of how to use them, and then be able to get away, call the police, and do whatever else you have to do in order to be safe. But we have to be safe. We have to practice.
Honestly, the one that I went to, there were guys in the class. So big dudes, because I can't pick who's gonna attack me.
Exactly.
You know, it might be the skinny dude. I can probably tell. No, it might be the biggest dude you ever seen in your life trying to attack you.
You right.
So, like when I had to take a punch to the chest. Ooh, I wanted to fight him so bad. He said, ain't nobody gonna be playing with you out there. He said, hit me back.
You're right.
I'm finna hit you back for real.
Listen, I remember, and I'm gonna make sure I tell this. I hope I remember to tell this story tonight when I do the live. But I remember, like, it was probably about 3 years ago. Me and a friend was at Applebee's, and this lady asked to use my phone. Like, you could tell she was somewhat like homeless or something like that, but she was inside the restaurant. And so she asked to use my phone. And at first I was a little hesitant, but then I'm like, dang, she's a lady out here just, you know, I don't know what her situation is, but I didn't want her to just leave her out that way. So needless to say, I allowed her to use my cell phone. But then when I asked for my cell phone back, she refused to give it to me. And she literally like created this whole physical altercation where my friend had to come in and restrain the lady to get her from like attempting to attack me. And so
you got my phone.
Listen, I was just like, can I just get my phone back? Like, she started cursing at me and everything. It was getting really real. And so my friend, she grabbed her, and I literally had to intervene at that moment. And I took her and I put her outside, and I just held her on the wall until the manager came out, and then they called the police. Like, it was just crazy. But even in that situation, I was armed, but I chose not to use my weapon.
Exactly.
But had I had one of these like self-defense tactics from damsel in defense, I would have used one of these. I would definitely pepper spray her.
Just like you said, it's a choice. It's a choice. You know?
Yes. But I was armed then, and I just, I knew at that moment, okay, this is not a situation where I need to shoot somebody. But that goes into us being educated.
Again, you don't know if she had any type of mental health issues.
Exactly. So you have to be, just aware on how to respond in different situations. But if you are attacked or anything of that nature, we have to literally train our brain. What am I going to do? What would I do if this were to happen? Just play out different scenarios on how you would respond so your brain could even start thinking that way.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Because I think, I don't know, I think a lot of accidents and a lot of bad choices on the gun owners' end, that it's kind of like, when like words you can't take back.
Exactly.
You may hurt somebody or they may lose their life. You have to, you got to take people into consideration,
And that's why I think like now being that I'm pretty much surrounded by the whole firearm industry, it's like I want to make sure that I'm covered on every end. I have my insurance, I have my other tactics now that I can use. But at the same time, it's like if I'm really put in a situation where I have to use my weapon, would I do it? And the answer is yes, I would. Even as an officer, that was one of the things
that everybody has to ask themselves.
Yeah. Would you do it? Like, would you be able to deploy your weapon if you needed to? And my answer is yes, I would. But once again, I have to build my confidence by going to the range and practicing and making sure that I'm working on hitting my target. And it's not just hitting your target. Like, there's a lot of targets out there. They got bullets all over the place. No, that's not what it's supposed to look like. Your bullets your holes are supposed to fit under the palm of your hand. That's how you work on your precision.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that everybody that wants to own a gun or is thinking about owning a gun, or even if they have a gun and they've never used it, like just worst case scenario, are you okay with, the end result?
Yeah, you have to be okay with it. You have to be. All those years that I carried my firearm as an officer, like I literally was okay. Like I was out there serving warrants and, I was in the hoods, like where people literally got shot. And so I had to be okay with carrying that weapon and absolutely having to possibly use it. I had to be okay with doing that. And I mean, that's how I was trained. So now, as a civilian, I still have that same mind frame that if I have to use it, I will. Yeah. But at the same time, I'll make sure that I have other options outside of that will still put me in a safe situation.
Okay. Now, how can we obtain these products? What is your website?
So my website, let me pull it up. You can go on. Look, I don't even, hold on, let me pull this up where do I post it at? So you would go to my my Instagram page, Girlfluence. So that's at Girlfluence. And it's in my bio. The link is right there.
Okay.
And also, I'm on Facebook at, Girlfluence. So you can find it there as well. So those are my 2 social media platforms that the website is there. And so tonight, after we finish, I'm going to do another live and I'll post everything on there as well. Okay. But like I said, I encourage everybody, if you do have a firearms, definitely get the USCCA firearms or their membership. It's very important that you have that, and I'll post a link for that too. Just so you all can go on there and read and see how it will make sure that you are protected. It's like I said, it's just like having car insurance. It's very needful if you were to ever deploy your weapon and have to use it.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, it was amazing.
I definitely learned some things. So I'll be going to your website very soon because
awesome.
There's so many girls. Some of my stuff is just, I ain't gonna lie, it's just old and need to be thrown out. Because I think I probably tried the only time I used the pepper spray is when the dog was chasing me and it didn't work on him. I got my cardio in that day though. But you guys can reach me on the Shalisa Experience on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, also on Google Podcasts,